Arte Moreno is now in talks to sell the team, at least he's considering it. Based off his statement, it sounds like it could be an official thing. Here are my thoughts. So Arte Moreno has owned the team for nearly 20 years. He bought the team back in 2003, right after the Angels won their World Series, and it's kind of been a mixed bag at best. The Angels definitely had good success in his first few years, especially in the 2000s. Granted, he inherited a team that was only 1 year removed from winning the World Series. However, the team hasn't been to the playoffs since 2014 and hasn't won a playoff game since 2009. And a lot of people fault Arte. I can definitely see where you could say it's not all his fault. I mean, he's not out there swinging. And there's been a lot of bad contracts that really just haven't worked. However, you could also blame Arte for some of those. It's been rumored for a while that he micromanages the front office. And if you look at some of the other GMs that are now in other teams, like Jerry DiPoto, former GM now with the Mariners, and their most recent GM that left before Perry Manassian named Billy Epler, he is now with the New York Mets as a GM. Both those teams are having good years. Both those teams could very well make the playoffs and will likely be in. They're both in playoff spots right now. I mean, they're both a lot better than the Angels. And it's something that's interesting to look at. Besides the cheap option for beer, yes, you can get a 450 can in 2022. It's tough to see what I would miss about Arte. I think he does spend big, but he also likes to spend on players that he can market. I don't think they needed Josh Hamilton in 2013. If you look back, even when they signed Pujols in 2012, they had Mark Trumbo, who was a top 3 finalist for Rookie of the Year at first base. They had Kendrys Morales at the time, who also could play first base. They had good options, but he wanted a big name to market and then just let the coaches figure it out from there. I don't think Anthony Rendon was the biggest need when they signed him a few years ago. However, it seemed like Arte stepped in when they lost out on Garrett Cole and wanted a big name so he could sell tickets and sell jerseys. It's also been rumored that they had a deal in place for Ohtani, a couple deals, but Arte refused to trade him, told management that they would not allow a trade because he was afraid if Trout missed the year, and with Rendon already out for the year, who are they going to market as far as selling tickets? He seems to put business first instead of letting his GM and his front office do their job. We've also seen owners that are like this in sports. I know Jerry Jones is like the most famous one, and even him is very debatable at this point on if it's a good idea and a good move for him to micromanage, but that's a different sport and that's a whole different thing. I don't follow the Cowboys closely enough, though I do follow football, to get too into that. But I definitely think it's time for a change in ownership. It's kind of telling even that Mike Trout's wife liked the post on Instagram. I think she removed her like, but she liked a post saying that Arte was likely to sell the team. So does this mean Ohtani is going to stay? Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Ohtani even knows. Should they trade him? Again, if you can get I think what needs to be most important is what's going to help the team win. Even if it sucks, even if it's a bummer, we have to say goodbye to some beloved Angels. If a rebuild's in place, you got to look at what's going to help the team succeed first and foremost. And I think with Arte, his is, how do I make money? That's what his first and foremost, most important thing. And yes, it's a business. Yes, I get that they want to make money, but ultimately you got to win. And if you win, you're going to make money. People will come in. I mean, we all remember the Angels in the 2000s. Tickets were sold out. Now it's, I mean, attendance isn't bad. Sure. I mean, you're in LA market and they have great promotions. Ticket prices aren't bad, but I mean, there's just not a lot of energy there. And you have a lot of empty seats, and I think you're going to sell a lot more tickets if they win. And the way to win is to swallow your pride and ego and bring in people who know what they're doing and let them do their jobs. You just sign the paychecks and you can run the business side of it. But you got to let baseball people run it, and Arte just isn't that guy. And my take is you got to let a new ownership come in. And I know some people hate this example, but you got to look at the Clippers. Yes, they haven't won a championship yet, but they've been a lot more competitive with Steve Ballmer, because he came in, he doesn't micromanage, he spends the money, but he brought in a guy like Jerry West who knew what he was doing. Not only great track record as a player, but as a front office personnel, and is running things great. And that's why they got to the third round for the first time in their history. So I think with the Angels, I'm not saying you've got to be a former player, but I'm saying you got to bring in people that know what they're doing. And if Perry Manassian, he could be that guy, but let him do his job. Let's figure it out on our own. Because obviously he helped build a team that won a World Series shortly after he left. So you got to let the front office do their job and bring in people who know what they're doing and stay out of it. And I think that is why, most importantly, you need a new owner that's not going to interfere. Well, that's my 2 cents on it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe I'll do more of these videos. But let me know what you guys think, Angel fans or baseball fans in general. Do you think it's time for new ownership at Angels? Do you think it's blame Artie? Do you think some of it's just these contracts haven't panned out and it's not his fault? Do you think he's over managing? That dog's barking in my video, but I'm sorry about that. Anyways, thank you all. Like and subscribe, comment below, and have a great one.